When we talk about Wolverine, we usually think about rage, claws, and healing. But underneath all that metal and muscle, there is a man who's tired. A man who's seen too much death, too much pain, and just wants peace. Today we're diving into one of the most emotional Wolverine stories ever told, The Last Will of Logan. This isn't about his biggest fight, it's about his final wish. And trust me, this story will hit you right in the heart. So let's rewind a bit. By the time this story takes place, Logan isn't the unkillable beast we know anymore. His healing factor is gone, his body weak, his soul is exhausted. He's survived war, lost the Eponex experiments, even outlived almost everyone he's ever cared about. Jean, Scott, Xavier, all gone. And what does a man who spent his life fighting monsters do when he becomes one himself? This is where we find Logan. He's dying, and he knows it. But instead of running, he decides to face his end on his own terms. That's what I like about him. In the Death of Wolverine, Logan learns that the people who created him, Weapon X, are trying to make more of him. So even with his healing factor gone, he goes on one final mission to stop him. He tracks them down one by one: Viper, Nuke, Logan, and finally Dr. Abraham, the same man who turned him into a weapon all those years ago. Dr. Abraham tries to recreate the experiment that gave Logan his adamantium skeleton. But here's the thing, Logan stops him. He destroys everything, and in the process, molten adamantium pours all over his body. Instead of running, he just keeps walking. He climbs out, dripping in metal, gasping for air, and finds the last bit of peace he's ever had. He looks at the rising sun, smiles, and dies standing. But here is where things get really heavy. See, before his death, Logan wrote something, a will letter, that told the X-Men what he truly wanted after he was gone. And it wasn't about revenge or power or immortality. It was about peace. He asked that his body not to be resurrected, that no one tried to bring him back with magic or science or cloning. He wanted to rest for real this time. Of course, this is the comics, and you know how it goes. They brought him back eventually. But that doesn't change the fact that this story was perfect. In that moment, Logan's death wasn't just another superhero death, it was closure. For once, the animal found peace, and his last wish wasn't just for him, it was for everyone he'd ever saved. What came after his death might be the most beautiful part. You had Laura Kinney, X-23, taking up their Wolverine mantle to honor him. You had the X-Men mourning him not as a weapon, but as a family member. And you had fans realizing this was more than a comic. It was a goodbye letter from one of Marvel's greatest heroes. Because Logan didn't just fight villains, he fought himself. Every day. Every single day. And his final wish wasn't about being remembered as a killer. It was about being remembered as someone who tried to be better. So if you ever felt like you've done too many wrong things to ever find peace, remember Logan. Because even a man with claws, rage, and blood on his hands still wished for redemption. And maybe that's the real message behind The Last Will of Logan. Anyway, tell me this. Do you think Logan deserved to stay dead, or was Marvel right to bring him back? Let's talk about it in the comments. And hey, if you like deep dives like this, you want to check out my video on the dark side of Logan. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. That's great. Thank you so much for watching. This is Ali from Hey Jet Set, and I'll see you in the next one.